Man, you gotta calm down, brother. Cause listen, man, things can get real sticky real quick, and then everybody would say, this is what we do every time we come out. This is what we do when we come out.
Do you think that if you guys fought again, if you fought now, and he was also in his prime, do you think the outcome would have been vastly different?
Definitely, it's gonna be different. No, because I'm more mature, more strong, with more experience. Definitely is gonna be different.
Now, what's the goal? It's changed a little bit.
I try, but he started asking for other things and this and that and make everything hard for me. And then, I think the best option for me is move.
Crawford's fiery response says it all. Canelo better be careful what he wishes for. The first fight was a clinic, and a rematch could only expose Canelo's flaws even more. Crawford doesn't fear revenge. He promises domination again.
And things like that. And I think what was frustrating him the most is, all his big shots, I was blocking and, catching and countering. So I think that was really, a big factor in why he was frustrated.
And Canelo, still chasing redemption, didn't hold back with his own warning about a rematch. Canelo's warning sounds bold, but let's break it down. Experience and pride may fuel him, yet the first fight showed a gulf in class. Crawford neutralized his power, exposed his predictability, and dictated pace. Unless Canelo reinvents himself completely, a rematch favors Crawford again.
Does that make you think about maybe some opportunity for rematches against Crawford himself and others? All those things that stay there in the back of your head that you wanted to get rid of.
Como lo dije, no, ahorita lo único que tengo en la cabeza es disfrutar a mi familia, disfrutar a mi hija que acaba de nacer. Después de eso, algunas semanas, 2, 3, 4 semanas, no sé, hablar con mi equipo y ver qué es lo que viene para el futuro. Ahorita lo que quiero es...
And Crawford himself explained why Canelo grew so frustrated. In that first clash, Crawford makes it clear his dominance wasn't luck, it was belief backed by skill. He expected to beat Canelo, while fans doubted. That's the difference. Crawford thrives on opportunity, and when given the stage, he proves greatness with calm, calculated brilliance.
Of course, he was a little frustrated in there, but that's part of the game.
The last question is, I know it's right after the fight, have you feel yet the significance of this win and what it means in your legacy and your career?
To be honest, when I set my sights on doing something and I know what I'm capable of, it's not like a surprise to me. It's a surprise to y'all because y'all didn't believe me, but for me, I knew I could do it, and I believed that I could do it. I just needed the opportunity.
And even as Crawford reflected, Canelo continued to push warnings for the rematch. Canelo insists he wants the rematch, but talk is easier than execution. In their first fight, Crawford read him perfectly, neutralizing power and breaking rhythm. Unless Canelo reinvents his style, that rematch will play out the same with Crawford firmly in control.
Does that make you think about maybe some opportunity for rematches against Crawford himself and others? All those things that stay there in the back of your head that you wanted to get rid of.
Como lo dije, no, ahorita lo único que tengo en la cabeza es disfrutar a mi familia, disfrutar a mi hija que acaba de nacer. Después de eso, algunas semanas, 2, 3, 4 semanas, no sé, hablar con mi equipo y ver qué es lo que viene para el futuro. Ahorita lo que quiero es disfrutar.
Atlas summed it up. Crawford dominated. Full stop. Only questionable judging made the scorecards look closer than reality. For Canelo, that's painful, because it proves the gap wasn't minor, it was massive. Crawford owned the fight, leaving Canelo with few answers.
For me, the thing that bothered me, there's only one thing that really did bother me, and that's why I don't want a rematch, I'll be honest. I've been in this business 50 years, too long to fool myself. Those judges should be really, they got to look in the mirror to have it that close. There's no way it was that close. Thank God he dominated, because otherwise we might be here talking a whole different thing and really going nuts, and I would definitely break this thing.
Yes, you would. I believe you.
And maybe that. And I'd owe money. and I don't care. I would pay it.
Bradley calls it straight. Crawford didn't just win, he made it look easy. He predicts a rematch wouldn't save Canelo, but embarrass him further. Still, the money on the table makes it impossible to ignore. Easy work for Crawford, big risk for Canelo.
I think this is the tail of his career. If he fought Crawford again, I think it'd be worse the second time. You know, go out. Hey, why not do a rematch? $100 million, Turkey? Absolutely. We can do a rematch. That was easy work. That was nothing for Crawford.
And don't even think of.
And Duke McKenzie offered the cold truth about losses in boxing. McKenzie nailed it. Sometimes another fighter simply has your number. And in this case, Crawford has Canelo's. No excuses, no debate. Unless Canelo reinvents himself, he'll always struggle against Crawford's sharpness, composure, and ability to adapt mid-fight.
When you lose in a fight, never mind a world title fight, when you lose in a fight, full stop, you know, the best thing to do is to dry your tears and crack on. You know, you got to man up. Sometimes somebody just got your number.
And Carl Froch made it clear that the rematch may be the only path left for both fighters. Carl Froch tells it brutally straight. Canelo was handed a beating by a man moving up from welterweight, and that reality stings. Where else can Canelo turn? Bivol dominated him at light heavyweight, and Crawford dismantled him at 68. Froch is right. The only fight left that holds meaning is the rematch. For Canelo, it's redemption, an opportunity to prove that one bad night doesn't define a career. For Crawford, it's validation, a chance to prove that dismantling one of boxing's biggest stars wasn't a fluke, but a demonstration of superiority. That's why the rematch isn't just about money, it's about legacy. One man desperately chasing it, the other calmly defending it.
Alexander Usyk, but Anthony Joshua. Fury seems less keen, but he mentioned the fight would be a Wembley fight. If it happened, it would have to be a big occasion. It seems like the wheel's in motion, at least for that fight to finally happen.
I can see that fight happening.
Froch makes another sharp point. Crawford has climbed to T100 and already shown his dominance. But who's left to challenge him? Hamza Shirez may be a rising name, yet the gulf in experience is clear. That's why the rematch with Canelo feels inevitable. It's the only bout that delivers significance for both men. For Canelo, it's a chance to claw back relevance in a career that risks being overshadowed. For Crawford, it's about proving again that he can conquer every level, no matter the name in front of him. Fans crave big fights, and right now no other clash captures attention like Crawford, Canelo II. The rematch isn't just sensible, it's essential.
So it's like the only sensible option, or the only real option, is the rematch. And that's the same for Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford's now 168 pounds. Who does he fight? Who does he go for next? It's difficult. There's no other real big names. I mean, there's a kid in England called Hamza Shiraz who's tapping on the door for something big. And
Rosado doesn't hide the truth. Crawford dominated and looks untouchable. He doesn't see anyone beating him, and honestly, he's not alone. But the interesting angle here is the notion of Canelo making adjustments. Could tweaks in strategy, pacing, or game plan change the outcome? That's the intrigue. Crawford's skill set makes him the overwhelming favorite, yet boxing is built on shocks, and fighters have reinvented themselves before. For Canelo, the rematch is less about proving superiority and more about proving resilience. Can he adjust? Can he adapt? That question keeps fans talking, even when most believe Crawford would win again, and that in itself makes the rematch marketable. Dominance against defiance.
Like Terence fucking dominated. Next? Shit, he can fight anybody. I don't see nobody beating him.
What do you want to see for Canelo, Gib? You've been in this game a long time.
Obviously a rematch to see if he can make adjustments. You know what I mean?
Appreciate your time. All right, bro. See you soon.
And when Eddie Hearn broke it down, he praised Crawford for producing the perfect fight. Eddie Hearn's words echo the sentiment of many. Crawford boxed the perfect fight. His defense absorbed Canelo's power. His offense was sharp, and his engine seemed endless. He didn't just win, he barely looked tested. That's how dominant it was. Hearn rightly dismisses talk of a close fight. It wasn't. Crawford dictated every department, making a future Hall of Famer look ordinary. For Canelo, that reality is bitter, but it also fuels the rematch narrative. Can he find an answer to perfection? Or will Crawford prove once again that class and composure always prevail? This is what boxing thrives on. Dominance met with defiance, perfection met with pride, and that's why fans demand a second chapter.
Tonight, he got it perfectly right, boxed the absolute perfect fight, and fully deserved the victory. You know, I know some people felt it was a close fight, but I just felt that he was the better fighter on the night. beautiful defence. You know, arm will be sore tomorrow, but took so much on the gloves, boxed beautifully offensively, used his footwork great. His engine was incredible, hardly looked like he broke a sweat. And
Derek Chisora didn't hold back, and frankly, he's echoing what many insiders have already seen. Canelo had his opportunity under the brightest lights and failed. The rematch talk sounds exciting, but when you peel away the hype, the question remains, what can Canelo do differently? Crawford nullified his power, picked apart his timing, and forced him to fight frustrated, desperate, and reckless. Power without precision is wasted, and that's the brutal reality Canelo faced. Crawford, on the other hand, didn't just fight well, he fought flawlessly. His composure under pressure, his ability to adapt mid-round, and his calculated counters showed the gulf between them. Fans love Canelo's heart, but boxing isn't won by pride alone, unless he reinvents himself completely. Another fight against Crawford doesn't just risk another loss, it risks damaging his legacy further, and that's exactly why Crawford's warning, "You'll regret it," feels more like a prophecy than trash talk.
Them soft talk. He didn't throw the double jab. He didn't go. He didn't actually say no one.
He didn't step into it.
He didn't bite his gumshoe and say, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Andre Ward, a man who knows what greatness looks like, summed it up with precision. Crawford wasn't just dominant, he was artistic. That's a critical point. Canelo Alvarez, a seasoned champion with titles across divisions, was reduced to chasing shadows. Every time he pressed forward, Crawford switched stance, cut angles, or slipped shots effortlessly. That level of control makes a fighter look predictable, even when they're among the best. This is why Crawford isn't just a champion, he's a generational talent. Ward points to the deeper truth. Fighters like Crawford come around rarely, and when they do, they change how the sport is judged. For Canelo, this is devastating, because no amount of past achievements erase what the world saw. He was second best in every department. That's why the rematch narrative feels more like desperation than destiny. Canelo wants revenge, but Crawford has already proven he's not just better, he's untouchable.
We're fucked. We won't win any war right now. If we go to war with anybody, we're gonna get our ass kicked. Listen, you boxed amazing. You knew exactly what you wanted to do. I just feel bad for Daniel right now. But you know what? It was his for him to win it, and he fucked it up. Simple as.
And here's where the story comes full circle. Canelo Alvarez isn't backing down despite being outclassed, outfought, and outworked. His pride won't let Crawford's victory stand as the final chapter. He's calling for revenge, promising change, and daring to step back into the fire. But as analysts and fighters have pointed out, this isn't just about courage, it's about reality. Crawford's adaptability, his composure, and his ability to neutralize everything Canelo threw makes him the heavy favorite once again. For Canelo, a rematch is high risk, maybe career-defining. If he loses again, it could permanently cement the gap between them. But if he somehow finds a way, it would be one of the greatest redemption stories boxing has ever seen. That's why this rematch isn't just another fight, it's legacy warfare. Pride versus mastery, heart against IQ. Crawford has already proven he's generational, while Canelo refuses to let his throne be stolen without resistance. Now the world waits. Will the king of precision crush pride again? Or will pride rewrite history? One thing's for sure, this rivalry isn't over. So tell me, whose side are you on? Crawford's brilliance or Canelo's redemption? Comment your pick below. This debate starts with you.